Hello and welcome to Code A. I'm Wolf. With me is Caldor. We are in our evening session now of course, the second round of 2012's. Actually, this is now 2013, is it? You know, Code A is always tricky.
I don't know.
I was like, I'm pretty sure this is actually 2012's Code A Season 5 still because the next season begins in 2013 with the players after the up and down matches. So yeah, it is 2005, Season 5.
Yeah.
Even though Code S is over, this is still the Code A round for that next season of Code S next year.
And we have our late night session. We've just thrown on the Harry Potter outfits and are ready to go.
After this, you know, we had a tough day.
Yep.
You know, we had a cast at 4 o'clock in the morning. Then we had a cast at 1 p.m. and now, of course, 6 p.m. So we have like 5-hour breaks between our casts. But after this, we have to actually go commentate a Quidditch match.
Exactly.
And so it's going to be a pretty tough. It's just, we don't have time to do anything. I can't sleep. I can't even play StarCraft anymore.
Yeah, but sleep is overrated. You know, there are a couple of magic wands and distinctions that can help you with that. But Quidditch is actually pretty exciting. The rules are a little bit complicated, but you can always play that.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to play by play.
Yeah.
You know, I've cited a little bit. You know, I always kind of thought the snitch mechanic to be a little bit weird because if you catch it and you're behind, you get 100 points, but the game just ends. Why would you catch that? But if you're actually the seeker, you can't really see the scoreboard all the time. What if the weather conditions are bad? You just grab the snitch and suddenly your team loses. Everyone's like, listen.
That was kind of distinguished a good seeker from a bad seeker.
Yeah, that's true. But, I mean, if you can't see the scoreboard, if it's really, you know, the weather conditions are bad, you're flying around, your snitch is way up in the sky, you can't see a scoreboard, and you catch it, and your team loses.
It's kind of all about the quaffles, you know?
Yeah, of course. Like, that's the only way to really guarantee that you're going to get points, because catching the snitch, that may not even happen in the game.
Yeah, but usually does. But on the other hand, now we are focusing more on StarCraft and keep Quidditch for later on. And what you can see here is the GSL Tour Grand Final information, the tournament at the end of the year. 8 players.
And the finals, of course, are going to be a best of 7. You can see the rest of the format is pretty straight up. It's kind of like the up and down groups that we're going to see. Groups of 5 players, best of 3s. Or actually, no, it's like Code S, excuse me.
A few more information can also be found on GOMTV.net, of course. The duration of the tournament from December 17th to December 20th.
Yep, and here are all the stats of who is going to be in the tournament, and here's the schedule, of course. You can even see the list of maps.
Yeah, it's actually going to be...
This is just Group A for December 17th on Monday. We've got 4 players, DRG, Hero, Lenok, and Parting.
That's actually the match series. Like I always, for a second, I was really confused what we saw on the stream here. But that's the second one.
Yep.
Group B.
Sniper, Life, Rain, Violet, and Seed. Should be a pretty exciting match.
That's actually going to be really sick. We're especially looking forward to Rain versus Violet. And Violet taking second place at NASL now.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really good one.
Definitely should be awesome.
And Life as well. Rain against Life. That's going to be crazy.
Should certainly be Rain versus Seed as well. Definitely a match I would love to see.
Yeah. But the match that I really would love to see is the match that we are going to see today. We have so many sick players in Code A these days. It's crazy. 3 LGIM players today. We have Nesty, we have MVP, and we have Lucira. Of course, we have Jadong, we have Flash. It's going to get sick at Code A. I mean, it's not only about Code S anymore. Code A is the new Code S.
Code A is definitely the new Code S. What does that make Code S? Well, you guys will find out next year when we find out who's in it. Here we go. Here are the results from earlier today. Sorry I didn't give you the spoiler alert this time, but Noble S, Boong Boong, Gumiho, and Center are advancing players.
Yep. Senna doing well against Bjarne. Noblesse without any problems against Happy. Boong Boong, the only Zerg play in the group, was able to advance. And Bomber didn't stand a chance against Gumiho today.
Yeah. That's how things shaped up this morning. And of course, we're going to see a list of today's matches in just a moment as well.
Here they are. Starting with ZVZ, Lucira against Jadong. We have Byung up against Nesty.
Yeah, and of course, Flying versus MVP. Last but not least, Flash versus Baby. Kespa versus Kespa to end things off for the night.
Yeah, and another Terran versus Terran. Already had quite a few of those today. But this is going to be the only one for the second round of matches today. And as mentioned, the Zerg versus Zerg is going to kick us off.
Yeah, definitely will be our first match. No doubt there. Lucira versus Jadong. This is going to be pretty interesting because You know, I feel like Lucira is the favorite. Both of these players, though, coming up from Code B this season, they are very well known. They come from popular backgrounds. Jaedong obviously more so a Brood War background, and Lucira StarCraft 2 background. We'll see how well Jaedong does here. Can he prove himself? He recently joined Evil Geniuses. There was a lot of talk about this. He just recently played in Pro League. Was defeated, though. In fact, EG and Team Liquid together formed that team, and not a single win got for their entire team.
Yep, they got wiped with a 0-4. And now we have Lucira up against Jaedong in the Zerg versus Zerg. Lucira, a Zerg player that has been around for a long time, but struggled to get a foothold in Code A in the last few months.
Yeah. Lucira definitely played a ton of matches, though. If you look at that record, you can see he's played 69 games in total with nearly a 61% win ratio. That's a pretty good win ratio to have.
Yeah, and he has, of course, a lot more experience in the GSL than Jaedong. Jaedong, on the other hand, a really accomplished football player, but in StarCraft 2, and especially in the GOMTV studio, he didn't have as many games just yet, so this is a bit of a newer environment for him. Lucira, of course, once again, very peculiar in how he sits, how he postures around, and how his keyboard is aligned.
Yep, he always has that keyboard at that really interesting angle. This is Jaedong's second appearance on EG. We'll see how he does his first appearance in the individual league, and he's playing against a pretty tough Zerg in a ZVZ.
Yeah, and well, Lucira actually, without the Twitch just yet, gonna happen any second, but he seems to be a little bit nervous.
Yeah, and I would not expect anything different. Playing against Jaedong, someone who's so well known, a big fan favorite here, especially in Korea. Jaedong is so well known. A lot of fans here looking at him, seeing him in a non-Kespa jersey for the first time, probably a little bit weirded out.
Yeah, rocking the EG jersey. And here we go, Antigua Shipyard is the map, and we are gonna jump into the first game right away here at the GSL Code A with Cullen Wolf.
And back up in the raves again. We got the crowd on the way like it's a stadium. Call me the weather.
Starting to the right side of the map, we have the LGIM Zerg player. He is
LGIM Lucira.
that keyboard angle, man.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe he can play like that.
Yeah, but he can play like this, and he's actually really good at it. Today he has improved himself against a strong opponent, though. Starting opposite on Antigua Shipyard to the left side of the map. In blue is the new Evil Genius. It is
EGJD Lady Core.
Jaedong.
Jaedong, man, don't be fooled by the JD. That's just based on a Battle.net restriction. You got a pretty cool necklace. Now, Overlord's crossing here in the middle, cross paths, and Legend is directing now, of course, the evening session. He, this morning, was too busy getting us space heaters, hot pads, and coffees to actually be able to direct.
Legend just proved to be a real legend. This
Yeah.
guy was so awesome this morning. It was unbelievable in the studio for the early session. It was not really that warm, so he actually got us a heater. That was like the best thing that ever happened to me
Christmas
in
came
winter.
early, man. for
Definitely.
us. And I think I owe Legend definitely some soju.
Yeah.
Hopefully this time he won't be drinking it on a TV show where he loses his hair.
Yeah, the last time.
That was the last time I drank soju with Legend. We do see the pool goes down first for Lucira and Gas first for JD.
Gas first for Jaedong. They lays the pool a little bit and squeezes just the economy a tiny bit more. And the scouts, of course, now happen to be in a place. Really important here to notice that we don't have an early pool. You can't play that on a map like Antigua. You can't just hope for your opponent to start with an hatch first and then open with an early pool yourself. Try to get a bit of an advantage early on. A lot of players will actually do it, but not so in this game. Both Lucira and Jaedong go straight into the hatch first, at the pool later on. And we have the gas now. Gas number 1 added for Lucira.
Yeah.
Jaedong already with nearly 50.
Notice that JD takes about 60% of the winner prediction, so just over half there. Definitely getting a majority, though, of the fans' votes. And I think he really has to prove himself here. Playing against Lucira is a great way for him to be tested in Code A. If he can actually take out this Code S finalist, then I think that Jaedong deserves the winner prediction that he got today.
Well, that's definitely true. Speed now coming up for Jaedong, a little bit faster in this game. Lucira, as mentioned, took the gas very late.
Yeah.
Is actually only mining with one drone.
Yeah, this is really interesting. He's going to have a lot of extra minerals because of this, but his speed is going to be significantly delayed. There's the Baneling Nest for Jaedong now.
Yeah, it looks like Jaedong is trying to be a bit more aggressive with this build here. With everything, how it lines up with how fast he took the gas, the speed, and goes now into his Baneling Nest, he could go for a lot of aggression here. And on the other hand, Lucira already preparing with a Spine Crawler. He has no intentions of being the aggressor in this game. His speed will be very, very late. And this is going to be very interesting. I mean, this is going to shape up to be a bit of a defender's game for Lucira, which you can already see with the extra queens that he gets. As Wolf pointed out, with late gas now and only one drone mining, he's now getting a lot more minerals, and he spends those minerals by getting additional drones and also, of course, the queens that will help him to defend and, most importantly, to block the ramp later on.
Yeah, really important. If you block the ramp, that's the most important part. Getting that ramp blocked means that you can buy time with that Spine Claw at your natural, you can pull your drones out, and you're not going to die.
And he's not even going to stop at 4, he's going to straight into 6 queens.
Yeah, wow. And 6 queens in this matchup.
Yeah, you can also see that we have a lot of Zerglings here for Jaedong. 24 already, no mistake, no, 14.
Yeah, 14. Just making sure that he's safe, also making the defensive Banelings right now. He's going to walk across the map with his Speedlings just to make sure that he can put a little bit of pressure on his opponent, maybe scare him into making an additional Spine Crawler, or even some defensive Banelings of his own.
And here come the Banelings, moving in already. The queens are there.
Yeah, I don't think this is really going to work out for JD. He's going to try to go into the mineral line, and no way.
Yeah, the queens.
I can't believe he just let that happen.
Oh, wow. Oh, what did Lucira do? He could have killed those Banelings easily with the queens.
Yeah, if he had targeted or even used the Spine Crawler, things could have been a lot easier. 8 harvesters killed in total.
That's brutal. That was totally unnecessary. He really had the right reaction there. He pulled those drones away immediately. Then the Banelings went in, the Zerglings as well, but with a little bit of targeting, that shouldn't have been a problem for him at all.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
That was really unfortunate for him. So now he's behind in harvesters. For Jaedong, this worked out great. Even though we had those queens, and even one of the queens stepping aside for Jaedong, saw the Titan coming in and be like, okay, well, I better make some space for him.
Yeah.
And moves in, moves away, opens the gap, the Zerglings run in, the Banelings have the space that they need.
Totally.
And Jaedong now right away with a lair tag and with his Roach Worm.
That was totally weird what we saw. That Overlord gets away, the Queens realize, you know, this is a bit too far to actually walk out. It could be a trap. He's getting very fast, +1, Jaedong is, with the lair tag coming up. His Roach Worm is a little bit late, but because Lucira lost all those drones, he wasn't really able to start Roaches yet, so it's going to even out and end up being about the same, but Jaedong definitely taking a lead here as far as tech goes.
Yeah, he's a bit faster with everything, and interestingly enough, we have for Lucira not the +1 attack upgrade, but he goes instead into the armor upgrade. That will help him, of course, to counter Jaedong's attack bonus out.
Yeah, that's very important.
And there's the armor upgrade, the attack upgrade goes into the double upgrade.
Double upgrades are pretty rare in this matchup, but you do see them from time to time, and I really like it. Usually you see it when the game goes longer, when you start to see people trying to catch up with their carapaces, but I wonder what it's going to be. Yeah, it's just going to be Roach speed. I didn't think we were going to see fast tech from Jaedong, especially considering he got that +1. The only thing that really makes sense for his lair tech is going to, of course, be that Roach speed, and then later on, the +2 for his Roaches. He'll get the Infestation Pit a little bit later and then go into Hydras, but right now he's just playing a little bit passively, a little bit defensively, making sure that he can take that lead and run with it that he got earlier. And uh-oh, no speed for Lucira.
Jaedong currently with the 3rd base. He's heading into another hatch, whereas Lucira is going for the Hydra Den, and also for a much better harvester count. He's already up by roughly 6, 53 to 47, and has those double upgrades going for him. So what's going to happen is that Jaedong is most likely going to delay his attack a little bit, trying to scout here, and he will be able to get into the main base. And he, of course, sees the Hydra Den. Or actually, did he? I don't think he did. The Hydra Den is being placed at the natural,
yeah,
so I'm not quite sure if he spotted that. That's just...
he just flew in with an Overseer. And... okay, yeah, he did see it.
Yeah, he saw it. Flew in with the Overseer, and the Overseer is still alive. Actually, even gets away. The Roaches are now walking across the map.
Yeah, Jaedong's got a pretty good advantage in army supply here, and the upgrade advantage, though, is going to go to Lucira in just a few seconds if he can wait, if he can push his attack back. Plus, he's got a lot of queens for transfuses.
Exactly, he has those extra queens, and they will help him quite a bit.
But this 3rd base, I'm not so sure he can keep it. I think he's going to have to cancel that.
Yeah, I don't think he will be able to keep it. The armor upgrade is done now. +1 attack, not just yet.
This is Lucira's chance to try to save his 3rd base. He's going to try to fight these Roaches in 2 groups.
Yeah, he has to move in. He has to be really careful. The attack upgrade is done now as well. He has the upgrade advantage. Lucira now with a lot of units too. No Hydralisks just yet, but he has the range upgrade for those guys.
Yeah, and also consider though that Jaedong has his third hatchery up, whereas Lucira just does not have that Liberty hatch cancel. Nice micro here on the Queen. He's going to take out these final roaches, may even drop a transfuse.
Yeah, already dropped one. Didn't use the last one, maybe yet? No, doesn't really need it. First few Hydralisks are being built and +2/+2 on its way already. So this means that Lucira will have much stronger units than Jaedong. He already has a slight lead in upgrades, but this will definitely grant him a huge advantage when it comes down to the just attack power of the units itself. He doesn't have that Infestor tank though.
Yeah, he doesn't have it just yet, and that's something that's really going to be important for JD moving forward here. Lucira is actually trying to hit with his timing. He has the better upgrades right now, but he just doesn't have the units he needs. And if he had waited any longer, those Infestors came out, if he got trapped there, Jaedong would have had an awesome time with that. Yep. Jaedong now verifies with an Overseer that, hey, okay, you're still taking that third base. You're not going to try to go all in off of 2 bases, so I can actually continue to drone up myself while I get these units coming.
And it's really interesting to see how Lucira uses his gas here. He decides not to go into Infestors, but he goes into Hydralisks and then into those +2/+2 upgrades. It will all come down to what exactly Jaedong is doing with those Infestors. There's always the battle between, are you going for the Infested Terrans, are you going for the Fungals? And of course, if you Fungal, what can you hit? Are you just hitting the Roaches, or are you able to get close enough to the Hydralisks to use those Fungals there?
Exactly, and you know, can the Fungals for you zone out your opponent's Roaches so your Hydras can do extra damage in the back? The answer for Jaedong right now is of course no, because he doesn't have Hydralisks, but that's what Lucira is of course waiting for when he gets his own Infestors out.
And look at the timing here for Jaedong. He moves out just about when his +2 timing finishes. Yeah. Whereas we don't have these upgrades for Lucira.
And Lucira doesn't have any Infestors to buy time with. I don't know if he has enough support units for those Hydras. The Hydras do a lot of damage on their own, but they don't have a lot of hit points. Here we go.
He has to fight without those +2/+2 upgrades. This means Jaedong has an advantage in the attack upgrades. And here he moves in close enough, has a huge supply, drops those Infested Swarm Eggs. There is no buffer for the Hydralisks anymore. The Roaches are gone, and suddenly Lucira finds himself on the run.
Yep, Lucira is in a lot of trouble here. Hydralisk, not enough armor, not enough hit points, and the Roaches just tear through here. The Infestors are out of energy, and they're just kind of sitting back at this point, waiting for a little bit more to come. But I don't know if it's going to matter. I think Lucira may just die here. He's starting to lose drones, and the reinforcements are coming in very quickly. He can start dropping some more Infested turns on those Infestors if he wants to. I think Jaedong is going to take a 1-0 lead here.
+2/+2 is done for Lucira now, but it does not matter anymore. There's nothing more to get the use of those 2 upgrades. Jaedong with game number 1 takes it here with ease. Hits a brutal timing just when his +2 attack upgrade finishes. Jumps in with Roach Infestor and leaves no room for Lucira to work with.
Yeah. No chance at all. Skipping the Hydras entirely. You know, I'm not even sure 100% why Lucira decided to go for Hydralisk before Infestors. That's normally not the way of things, because the Infestors can buy you time to tech up later. They can also get you in a position where you can drone decently well. You can buy time with your Infestors on the high ground in the middle of the map if you can control that. But Hydras alone, without a lot of support, just died of pure Roaches. And then, of course, not having the Infestors meant that Jaedong did, and he hit that timing really, really well with his +2.
Lucira's +2/+2 was not done, and this was of course a big problem for him. He had a lot of army supply, but just not as much as Jaedong, and Jaedong just hit every single time here really well. Starting with the Banelings at the beginning, they were able to kill 8 Harvesters. That really did number on him. Lucira being nice here, nodding towards the camera as well.
I gotta say, Lucira is actually looking awesome today in general with his hair. It looks really good. And, you know, Jaedong obviously does as well. It's what he's known for. He's actually quite handsome. But Lucira, there's just something about him today. I find myself looking at him and I'm like, what did he change exactly? I think it's just the length. He's got the right length. He's finally figured it out. He's done it. It's actually, it's almost majestic. But his play, majestic, man. It was almost majestic. Not quite.
Are we talking about the same picture?
Yeah, look at him over there. I think he's really figured it out. Look at the Clydeburns, how they go just almost past his nose, but not quite.
I think he looks like he needs a haircut.
Yeah, but see, if he goes any longer, he crosses the line. But right now...
He crossed it a long time ago. Look at that.
No, I think he's perfect right now. I think it actually really suits him. That's Lucira's style right there.
Majestic?
Yeah, almost majestic, that is.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, going into game number 2. The map is Whirlwind, Zerg versus Zerg, Lucira versus Jaedong here at the GSL Code A with Powder and Wolf.